Boost. That's what it's all
God, that's
about,
some dodgy box
baby.
talk, isn't it?
Oh God, there's a reason we didn't talk about this one.
Ah, that's a state, man.
Oh, what was the thinking? What can we just
Looks
do?
nothing like the guy, though. Is that supposed to be Mac?
That's supposed to be Max Thunder. Look at his pants.
It's amazing. That
Oh,
looks horrendous. That's supposed
hello.
to be Blaze.
That's Blaze. She doesn't wear blue or
I was
denim.
going to say, yeah.
She doesn't wear
Yeah, or
denim of
denim.
any kind. Skate looks the same.
Yeah.
Axel looks the same.
Well, brown hair instead of blonde.
And then Shadow Man with a bat.
Ooh.
Oh, I never got to see that on the actual box art.
No.
Street of Rage 2.
You've been looking forward to this.
Oh, how many episodes? 21. This is 22. I've had to wait this long to talk about the best Sega game ever made. Arguably.
Mm-hmm. Arguably.
Well, let's be honest. No Sega game after the Mega Drive is worthy of being mentioned as potentially like the best Sega game. They peaked. They massively peaked.
at the Mega Drive.
All the Sonic games and Streets of Rage 2. What else would be like a Sega standout Sega game? I don't think there is any. They literally peaked at Streets of Rage 2.
I have no argument against that.
I think you got Sonic 2. You got Sonic 2 and then I think you got Streets of Rage 2.
Which two, and that's it.
Same year, both 1992. So it was a good year for Sega. And they just never had a good one since. They went on to release the Saturn and the Dreamcast.
I mean, to be fair, Dreamcast is an absolute gem.
Dreamcast was good, but I think it
they
failed,
just-
didn't it?
There's one major flaw. There was no protection against copying games. So you could just, if one person gets a game, they could copy it, and that's it. It was done. After that, once you realise you can copy games. So I know. And the thing is with the Dreamcast, it was a beautiful console. But it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah, I still want to get a few more for the Game Bloke. I want to get a few more games. I was watching our No Mercy video the other day when I'm trying to sort out this best of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned the Royal Rumble game
There's the Royal
for the
Rumble
Dreamcast.
game, yes.
I keep meaning to download that and give that a bash.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about
good,
Streets of Rage 2,
Mm-hmm.
the best beat 'em up game ever made. No other game that we've talked about before competes with it. In my opinion.
Wow.
In my opinion, this is
Wow.
the GOAT of the beat 'em up games. A dying genre, a completely dead genre.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, we spoke about it with the Turtles one. It is. I mean, you get some little ones that come in every now and again that kind of, bring it back, but it's like it's a one and done for another couple of years.
Number 4,
I mean, Streets of Rage 4,
Streets of Rage 4 is
Dude.
actually phenomenal. It's
Scott Pilgrim
superb.
versus the World.
that was a big beat.
That was really bloody good. The Turtles one, the
new one,
Revenge of
yeah.
Shadow,
I still need to play
really
this.
good. But I mean, it's literally like you get one, done.
Yeah,
Nothing. One, done.
People just
It's a
don't.
shame.
It's not that they don't stick with them. It's just they're not open world games, are they? They're not games that you can spend hours and hours and hours. You can replay them and stuff, but unless you're like a die-hard fan who absolutely bloody loves them, then you'll just keep replaying it. But
it harkens back to again something that we always discuss. When you had a game, you get 2-3 opportunities a year to get a game. So if you got a game as we did as kids, that was that game we played for like
Ever.
3-4 months. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Till birthdays, Christmases, or something else that you've done. You know what I mean? So we had to play these games over and over and over. So whereas nowadays there's 4 or 5 games coming out every month, and people, gamers today don't have that same attention span.
yeah, and because there's so many, there's so many games, and you've got the cheaper £5 games, £10 games, indie games.
Indie games.
There's just so many more options now, and the technology's advanced so much. You get so many different types of games, whereas back then, they were still going through the arcade phase here. That's what beat 'em ups really were. It was to chew your coins, wasn't it? It was to chew your pound coins. You die 3 times, game over, put another coin in if you want to keep playing. That's what these games were. It's get battered, get to a certain point, get battered, restart, and get better.
Your money.
Yeah, keep feeding the money in, and that's what all these beat 'em ups and that were. And it's just they've not. It's hard to evolve a beat 'em up, really. Unless you just make it. You make it some kind of open world. You think that's what it is these days. All the games.
It wouldn't work like that.
It wouldn't work. You need
a 3D open world wouldn't work for a bit of side like a scratch one.
You just need 8 levels that look completely different.
Yep.
Different enemies. Yep. Different music. Big boss at the end. Yep. Win. Next level. Until you fight the main boss, and then you win. You get a good score at the end, and you get on the leaderboard.
That's it. You start again,
which means nothing really on your Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, because as soon as you turn the console off,
it doesn't remember it. I got top of that leaderboard every time on Streets of Rage 2, but it never stayed there. So, and it's a shame as well because like you would do it on harder difficulties. I don't think I don't think I ever finished it on Mania. I think you have to unlock Mania. I think you get hardest. I think you get hardest. I think if you finished it on hardest, you unlocked Mania. I think, but then they might have in re-releases. I think they unlocked Mania. And Mania's the funnest way to play Streets of Rage 2. Just get as many enemies, because you just get to beat more people up. You get battered, but it's part of the fun. That's what Streets of Rage 2 is. I don't want it to be an easy, boring, easy run. Throw 50 blokes on me and I'll beat the shit out of all of them. It's great.
Game and real life.
Right, so Streets of Rage 2 came out in 1992. I believe. I'm just going by what the vinyl says behind me. I thought it was 93, but it's not. It must be 1992.
92 in Japan.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Bare Knuckle 2.
Bare Knuckle 2. Oh, I've got fat facts for that later. Some of that's really cool. But it's a simple premise, like all beat 'em up games. Pick one of 4 characters that have slightly different stats, but different moves. And just go from A to B in each level, beat everyone up, kill them all.
So wasn't this a continuation from the first game in terms of story?
I think so. I've played the first one a fair bit. I've not finished it much because I find it a much harder game. But
isn't the first one just a single player?
No, I think there was a 2-player.
It's a multiplayer. I don't ever remember it being a multiplayer, but I mean, I never played it with another person.
Yeah.
All I remember of Streets of Rage 1 is the fact that you're special, and I don't know which one it is for, but you get the police car.
Yeah, it
pulls up and they fire the whatever it is they fire.
I think that was just the special. I think it didn't matter.
All right, everyone has that, right? Okay.
I think Axel Blaze and what's the other fella called?
It's the guy you see at the end of this one, isn't it?
Yeah, Adam.
Is it Adam? Yeah.
I think either one you get that because they all worked for the police or whatever they did. They were coppers. So I think the special was just the cop would come with his very accurate missile launcher. And then you just get all the bad guys who sort of stood there awkwardly. And then it would rain this fire all over the place and everyone would get hurt apart from you.
So I never played it as a kid like Street Fighter 1. I always remember my next door neighbour having it, and I used to sit on the wall and watch him. And I used to always remember that with the police car. And I never played a kid. I never played 2 as a kid. I mean, I dabbled in it like through ROMs as a teenager.
Yeah,
but it wasn't actually until you, Mister, that I actually sat and properly played it.
The best.
And it's always one of the games. It's one of the games that's like one of the best Mega Drive games ever. And I'm like, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? And I had no interest in playing it until you were like, we should do Streets of Rage 2.
And we had lots of fun.
Did have lots of fun.
Me beating you up with Skate because he's just He's kamikaze. He
Yeah,
is.
can I
He's
just say I watched our videos as well, and my days are not offensive.
Oh no! I've watched it for ages, so I don't know.
Oh my god, we're literally like every other word is some sort of curse word.
Well, I won't link them then. I won't link the videos. People can find them.
There's some good bits, and I wish I'd sent you the message to tell you, but there was some bits in there that it made me chuckle, and they weren't offensive in any way.
Yay!
But I mean, yeah, you'd have to go through. I'll go through and find it again and watch it. Yeah.
Send
But
them.
yeah, there's just some that when we're playing it, you know.
We did 2 or 3 though, didn't we? We did 2 or 3 separate videos.
So if I remember, we did 4 videos, but 2 of them didn't record.
Okay, we had
The
a couple.
third one crashed. Third, yeah, because we did it at college.
Yeah.
We did 2 at college, then we did it at home when it came out on the PS3.
Okay.
And we were doing it through the
Oh,
dodgy
God,
internet.
we had a lot of trouble
living
with
in
the
North
internet, yeah.
Wales. Do you know what I mean? Our internet was absolutely pish.
Yeah.
You know, I think I had like a 0.8 megabytes or something.
Mine
like
was
that.
a minus something.
Yeah, you had a hamster running your internet. And all of the videos, like, all you do is complain about the stutter.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
remember
the fact that we
that.
completed the game is a miracle because,
God,
like,
yeah.
and you can see in your video, like, there's one point I punched someone and I'm sitting there going, I'm not moving. I'm just punching this guy like 1,000 times and he just dies.
It just goes to show how much we love the game, though, that we would go through that that mess just to get through it. But it is so good. Yeah, it's 2 players. You can have 2 players. 8 or 9 levels. I'm pretty sure it's 8.
And 4, like you say, 4 different characters with different stats. That, to be honest, the only main one you really need is speed.
Yeah, and that's Skate, really. Skate's the only one who can dash.
Well, that's one of my gripes with this is that it doesn't have a dash.
But then you play Streets of Rage 3.
I'm comparing it to Turtles in Time, and you know I will do, and I have to.
Yeah. In the same way as I compare Streets of Rage 2
Turtles in Time
with...
to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have a dash, and that to me is its one single flaw.
Yeah.
Now I know Skate has the dash, but putting dash on one person.
But the thing is, the dash, Skate having dash, the compromise is that he's weaker. He's weak as balls. Skate.
No, I understand they've done it with his stats. I know, but I mean, see, I when the boys were in the bath, I was like, I'm just gonna have a go at Max. Because I don't like Max, if I'm being honest.
I thought Max was alright.
So compared to Final Fight against Hager and Max, Hager 100% is a far better character.
I've not really played Final Fight, so I can't comment.
He just looks a far better. Max just looks like a derpy lucha libre wrestler with no mask. And there's there's nothing thingy. There's nothing. It looks nothing like that. Yeah, exactly. It's nothing like that.
Well, he's got hair for starters.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just infuriating actually playing him because he was so slow. And
he's beyond slow. He's the big slow guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, and yes, he is stronger. But like, even his moves were just like, I'm tapping to punch, and he's like,
his combos poor. He does like a chop, like a Samoan chop.
Yeah.
But like,
it's just
his combo was slow, but it took a chunk of their health down.
Yeah, you could beat a guy with a combo and you defeat them.
Did you never do the atomic drop with Max?
No,
that is
I was doing the suplexes and stuff.
You get him from the back, you jump and attack, and he does an atomic drop, and their health goes.
Well, of course you drop him on.
It's proper satisfying.
I'll give it a try.
It's amazing. But yeah, he's because he's so sluggish. Like, if you're against like nippy enemies, like the biker guys, the guys that jump off the bikes, and they're like that all over the screen, and they just give you a bit of a jab, and then this big hulking bugger goes flying around the screen, You got to slowly sort of saunter back up to him.
Even his back attack. Even his back attacks.
It's like a funny mule kick, isn't it?
A donkey kick, isn't it? Yeah. Donkey kick. You're just like, what?
No,
at least could have made it like an elbow, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just like I don't know, something, but a wee little donkey kick. Just a bit.
It's only Axel you need to play as in this game. He is the funnest one. He's the bog standard basic guy. He's got the medium stats on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
He's got the best combos. He's got the best moves. He's all you need to play as, really. Skate's a bit of fun. Like when we played, I was happy to play as Skate because I know he's like the banter character. He's just dashing around, does a running cannonball thing. I love battering him on the head and stuff.
Yeah, and you're throwing yourself across the screen from side to side, headbutting everyone.
Yeah, you can lob people with Skate as well. You can flip over and lob them.
Thing. Yeah, no, he's pretty cool.
He's the second best one. He is the second best one.
Yeah. But when we actually completed the game, you were Blaze.
Yeah, I probably died. I can imagine I died a lot.
You didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it was me. I died a lot because I just kept running.
Because I don't mind playing as Blaze, but like, I'd rather go to Axel or Skate.
She does that like sort of like, well, you get calling it the Dragon Ball Z thing, but when she does like the flip, she does like,
doesn't she?
The thing with the hands, and she makes like a little fireball thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I should have played a little bit before this episode, but it's like I just never really got a chance.
I mean, to be honest, I only had a quick go today. Do you know what I mean? I watched the videos whilst I was working.
Yeah.
And I had a quick go with Max. So. Because I've never played him, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna try, and I will never beat the game with him, and I will
the
never
challenge.
Play him. No, it's not a challenge. I can't be arsed with that shit. I'd rather play Echo the Dolphin, I think.
Yeah, I've played a little bit. It's all right. It is better than Golden Axe, and that's saying something. But it's like it's marginally better than Golden Axe. Right, we'll go through the levels. See what you remember. Level 1, we all remember level 1.
Yeah.
It's basically walking the streets. It's called Streets of Rage. You got to walk the streets.
Yep.
And it's called music. Downtown.
Yeah. It's the best music
in the whole game.
I'd say so.
It's the second. It's second.
I only have 2 songs in my head from this game.
Okay, there's 2 that live rent free in my head, and it's this and another one, which is the best one.
Please, isn't it the one that goes?
No. It's not.
That's the other song that's in my head.
It's not level music. It's not level music.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay.
But it is like, if we ever did like, best first level music, like your Green Hill, and the obvious. All games have that memorable.
We did
all
that
games
thing
back
on Twitter.
then.
Yeah, we did a thing on Twitter, didn't we? Like during the pandemic, wasn't it? Where every day we did it.
I think
we
I've still
should probably
got that.
do. Well, me too. It's on with it, but we should definitely do where we.
We can pick one of those categories and we can just do a whole episode on it. That's loads of episode material there.
That's it.
But if we did level 1 music, this is contender for me. The song Go Straight. Stupid name for a song, but it's amazing.
Go Straight.
The whole soundtrack. We can have a whole conversation about the soundtrack after, but the soundtrack is phenomenal, and this is probably the best level music. Unfortunately, it's the first level, but the others are still good. The others are still really good.
Yeah. And I mean that level is your basic level, isn't it? You walk the streets, you beat everyone up.
Go to the bar.
Go to the bar, walk through the bar. You fight your first woman.
It's actually this must have been a bit of a deal back in the early 90s because you beat up a lot of women in these games. Like you never really got that back then. Like no women, no children. You get to play as a child in this, and you can just stand there and get the shit kicked out of you. And that is a child getting battered in a video game.
I mean, I battered you all the time.
There you go. So you're supposed
to be. We made a running joke on it.
You're supposed to be my guardian. You're beating the shit out of me.
Beating the shit out of a little black boy. That's what you kept showing at me.
But that's you didn't get that very often in games.
No.
Do you remember the boss?
Bourbon,
Bourbon,
like
Barbon.
the biscuit.
That's the one. Just the bartender. You fight the bartender.
That rips his top
But
off.
yeah, but it's quite cool because like he just looks like a regular guy in the background while he's beating a woman up, and then he buggers
Yeah, he
off
just
to the
walks away.
back,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you go up to him and he tears his shirt off and he's ripped. And then the best
With his stupid
music,
kid.
the best
Wow.
music kicks in. Then
What is it, boss battle?
the boss music, the boss music in Streets of Rage 2 is amazing, and it's also a cool name. It's called Never Return Alive. That's a cool name for a song. It's
That's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's better than Go Straight. Level 2, bridge construction, is a
The
really cool
construction
level
one, yes.
where you have to avoid motorcyclists, bad drivers,
On the bridge, yeah. Yeah, on the bridge.
good music. It's
Not as good as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bridge level. Just saying. Well, to be fair, there's nothing. There's no obstacles. There's no holes
no.
in the floor. There's no thing. The
No, but it's
thing
only
is,
level
like,
2, isn't it?
I'm
They've
spot on,
introduced
right?
they've introduced moving vehicles in this one.
Not like Turtles where they've got Krang walking in the background shooting lasers out of his
Yeah,
eyes.
it's not quite that extreme,
Yeah,
but
but it is good level.
it's a good level. It's just I do have a obviously you can learn the patterns as you play the game more and more, but you get no warning of the bikes that are coming. You've got to hope that you're standing at a certain point where they're not going to smack you, but you always get hit by at least one, always. Or you can
And
try
you
and
always
time the
jump.
jumps.
You can jump and try and kick them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing with Max when I was playing it. Then I was doing it, and I was dropping because he's so bloody big. I knock him off, but the bike still hits me because he's such a big character.
And there are a couple of characters that you have to knock off as well. They'll just keep coming.
Yeah.
And coming.
You've got
Because they've got bigger health bars, and most of the cyclists that just drive by and you never see them again have like dirty health bars.
Yeah.
But the ones that you can knock off and you have to beat up have like decent chunks, especially on the harder difficulties. Whoosh.
And the boss is a dickhead as well.
Yeah, but you go through a truck first, the world's biggest truck.
Oh god, yeah, the truck. Yes.
That, like you see it on the right side of the screen, like this tiny truck, and then like you go in and it's like the TARDIS. It's massive.
It goes on for like 2 miles.
With like ninjas all over the place. You get the
Transporting ninjas about.
oh, what's he called? I have the names here somewhere. He's either Kusanagi or Hanzu. Yeah, he's a ninja.
Yeah, Hanzu, yeah.
Yeah, he's a ninja. They're cool though. The ninjas are cool.
Yeah, the ninjas are cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. That was always something you complained about as well as the names of people.
Oh,
Because they're all named to like Donovan throughout the whole game, and no matter how, you know what I mean.
And it is annoying. Like I like the idea of personalizing each character, each enemy.
Yeah.
But when you see 17 Donovans, you just sort of go, what are they doing? Cloning all these Donovans, and they just can't be asked renaming him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a nitpick. That's a nitpick, but I mean, they should
just diddy things, aren't they?
If you're naming people, then you should have different names. Because you've got like, was it the red stripe, yellow stripe, green stripe, the guys in the big jackets.
Oh,
the
punk with the mohawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's literally the name is red stripe, yellow stripe. Well, Y stripe, G stripe, and R stripe. But we call them red, yellow, and green because obviously that's the colours.
Just differentiating with colours, don't you?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Then you get off the truck, and then you're I take it the end of the bridge.
Yeah.
As it's being constructed.
I like how the truck takes you from one end of the bridge to the other.
Yeah.
You could have walked it.
And then you get one of the cooler bosses in the game.
He's a dickhead though, isn't he?
He's a dickhead, but he's not hard. He's just the pain.
It's just because he's up in the sky.
Yeah. So Jet is cool.
It's funny though, isn't it, that the jetpack guy on the bridge and in Turtles, it's Baxter Stockman.
Yeah.
Who's flying, and it's a flying enemy. That's quite I think they're both the same. But yeah, no, he is a dickhead. He's a total dickhead.
He's easy enough to beat though. If you get him down, avoid his like flying punchy Superman.
Flying punches. That's the worst. That was the worst. Yeah.
It always made like a hell of a cracking sound when he hit you with it as well.
Yeah.
Like you've been hit by a tornado.
And to be fair, when we were playing, the best thing was that I defeated him with a punch right up the arsehole.
Did you?
And you've even done a
I
slow
bet
mo and
I-
everything for it.
Oh, I definitely have to watch it then. I bet you were buzzing as well, weren't
Oh,
you?
we were like trying to compete with each other to defeat the bad guys, and who's got the last punch in, even though you've done most of the work.
So it's the last punch that counts, though, isn't it?
That's it. I killed him. That's it. 1 point to me.
And then level 3. Do you remember level 3? Stage,
Is,
stage
is
3.
that the baseball?
Yeah. I think no,
Yeah.
it's not. That's level 4.
It was the theme park.
This is the amusement park. Yeah.
Oh, the theme park.
See, I never thought of it as an amusement park when I was little. I didn't know what it was. I know you obviously go through bits with arcade machines, and then I love the bit with the pirate ship. That's quite cool because I think you get your first katana on that pirate ship because you fight the ninja guys.
Yes.
But I love the music. The music is very like Starlight Zoney Sonic, but like more upbeat. It's got that sort of doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it's just quite it's different. I like that it's different. Do you remember the boss where you get
fucking thing in the ghost house?
Yeah, there's two bosses kind of, isn't there? So it is like a haunted. It always freaked me out. Also, cool music in that like sort of haunted.
That's the other song that gets stuck in my head. Is that one?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I could never understand why all the enemies would like rise up as if they were zombies in this thing. They would always sit up and like come and beat you up. Look, I think there's quite a couple of hidden like 1-ups and stuff in that level.
Oh yeah,
they're all hidden.
You picked them all up at the bottom, like you knew.
Oh mate, I'm sad. I knew them all. I played that game a lot.
But yeah, that boss alien head thing.
Yeah, so he's sort of the first. He's the sub boss, isn't he?
I mean, that made no sense. If I'm being honest, that made no sense.
It doesn't matter. It's cool.
Oh, I know.
It's stupid but cool.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, because it like all it has to do is
it's a different boss because obviously it just goes side to side. It is different.
But like he can just be like moving so slow, and it taps you, and you go. Whereas I do feel like it should have been like, again, just nitpicky a little bit, but just it has to have a bit of momentum to knock you off your feet. But I mean, it's a arcade game from 1992.
We played tennis when we did it.
Yeah.
Trying to get a rally started.
Yeah, one here, one here. But again, he's not that difficult. He's quite doable. Just hit him with jumping kicks. Also, 1-up underneath his head. I remember that. I'll always remember that. When you're a kid, you need them 1-ups because you get battered when you're not very good.
You do.
And then you fight the real boss. I think you fight a ninja.
He's a bigger prick as well.
You fight a ninja or two, and then you fight Zanza. Blanca. Yeah, but Blanca. He's like he's more of a knobhead.
Blanca and Vega from Street Fighter.
Yeah, pretty much. But
if Blanca had Vega's claws.
I love the character. He's one of my favourite Streets of Rage characters.
He is good. He looks so good. All hunched up and like crippled.
Yeah.
And, like, the big massive claws on his arm, on the end of his arm.
He's the first dick that you'll come across where you'll find you find it hard to get combos on him. You've just got to get hit. Run away. Oh, excuse me. And
he does the Blanca roll thing across the screen.
I think you can fly and kick that, but
we never did.
But you're taking a chance. It's easy to just get away from him, let him do his thing. But it was the swipes. It was always the swipes that got me. Where he's
got such a long range because his arms are massive.
He would sprint towards you and just bosh, 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 and you just couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
If you're Max, you're buggered because you need a bit of speed against him. And then level 4, the stadium.
Yeah.
Which
do baseball,
is cool.
As the signs say.
Yeah.
Do baseballs.
Do baseballs. Yeah, it's a nice simple level. It's
you walk into the stadium and you fight in the stadium.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of baddies in this one.
You've got it's the Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Yeah. And what's the other one? Not Bill.
You've got
Bill and Ben.
Big Ben and Big Go. I'm assuming Big Go is the other guy. I think if you play 2-player, you get the 2. If you play 1-player, it's only Big Ben, unless you play it on like the harder difficulties.
Yeah, and they're fine. They take a fair whack.
Yeah,
They
but
do.
they're easy enough in Streets of Rage 2. In
The only
3,
thing-
they don't allow you to throw them in 3. They actually make use of the
It's so
fact that
fast.
they're fat. So if you're Axel and you try and do like a suplex over your head or
Yeah.
like the backdrop, he'll just lift them and then they'll fall on him. So you've got to be a bit more tactical in 3, but
Yeah.
in this they're easy enough. They're
And the
just
fact that they
chunks of meat.
run with fucking fire breath as well.
That's weird and cool at the same time.
Yeah, it is cool, but it's just like they're just normal big fat men. How the fuck can they breathe fire?
Because they're dragon men.
You're just battering them, and then they get up and they just go
Yeah.
just across the screen.
But if you can stop them doing that, they're quite doable.
Yeah.
I think if you give them space, they'll close you down with the fire thing, and
With the fire,
you're kind of knackered there 'cause it's hard to jump over that. Then it does the cool thing of you stand in the middle of the baseball, whatever it's called, turf. I don't know, and then it's a lift and it takes you down.
Yeah,
And that's one of my
Well,
favorite
you know,
parts of the game. That the lift.
the
one.
lift.
Yeah, that's cool. And you got all the guys.
There's
falling down.
always a lift level in all the beat 'em ups.
Beat 'em up games loves a lift. They love a lift.
They love a
level.
lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can find to a square and enemies drop in, and regardless of how you play, you
And
buggered. You
this-
at least lose a life.
Yeah, and this is why I love playing on the hardest difficulty, because it throws loads of guys at you, and I just love doing the combos and stuff. It's so fun. And then you get probably the most memorable boss of the whole game,
Ultimate Warrior.
the not Ultimate Warrior guy. He is a dick.
Oh, he's hard.
He's really
He's
hard
hard.
because he's the
The
first.
amount of,
He's the first one that'll break out of your hold.
well,
Which
this you
annoyed
did it
me.
in combos as well, because the
Yeah.
amount of times you told me don't do your combo, and I'm like, it's fine, I've done it, and he
Yeah,
just goes,
he breaks out of it.
and just breaks out and throws you away. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
He's got
hard.
a lot of
He's very-
moves as well. He's got like a diving body splash, and
Mm.
he always
And
does
his clothesline.
the running clothesline thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you try and do any sort of combo against him or grab him, you'll just break out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of hits, walk away. A couple of hits, walk away. Oh, level 5 is awesome. Level 5 is one of the best.
I still only watched the videos yesterday. I can't remember. Is that the boat?
The ship, yeah, the ship.
Yeah.
Cool music. I just love the concept of it. I don't know how you end up on this boat, but you're on this boat, and you're basically getting off the boat. You're working up levels, until you're on the outside, and you end up fighting another jet. You fight another Bourbon
Yes.
in the boat. You fight a jet outside the boat.
On top.
You then deal with guys throwing pipe bombs, grenades at you, which is just really annoying.
Through the windows.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that leads to the end of the ship, where you fight probably the most irritating boss in the entire game.
I can't remember who this is.
Rocky Bear,
Oh,
the fat boxer guy.
Yeah.
He's the most annoying boss in the entire game.
And these little stripy.
Yeah, like his pajamas.
Yes.
He's
He's got
fast.
he's bare-legged, barefooted. He's just got boxing gloves on.
Yeah, and he beats 7 shades of shit out of you
He does.
all the time.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
play it
yeah.
on the easiest difficulty. You'll lose 2 lives minimum against him because his punches
such
are
a long reach
relentless.
as well.
Yeah, 'cause he's massive. He's massive.
Yeah.
He does the jumping leg drop. He sits on your head, doesn't he? He does like a famous on you,
Yeah.
and you can't avoid that. And he will, like, if he's at like this part of the screen and you're up here, he will go with his butt. It's not like he just
no,
like
it
he
is
like
instant.
and yeah, you're guaranteed to lose lives against him. He's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Level 6 is the jungle. Do you remember the jungle?
Jungle, yeah.
The jungle. It's not so much a jungle really. You start on the beach, and then,
Yeah.
then you have like a bit of a
Go
trek.
to a forest.
Yeah, trek on the outskirts of a jungle.
Yeah.
So I think jungle is not.
I like how you started in the city. We go across a bridge. We go into an amusement park, to a baseball stadium,
Yeah.
down a lift underground,
Jump on a ship.
and then we find ourselves on a ship, into a beach, into a jungle.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
What a great game. I actually love I love the
What
beach bit.
story does that takes you through all of those?
Streets Rage 4 is exactly the same as well if you play that, but it's like it's more there's more of a story to it, so you're understanding why they're going from location to this location.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because essentially the story with this one is that Adam gets caught at the end of the first one, and you've got to go and save him.
save him. Yeah, Mr.
That's
X.
it.
Mr. X is the big bad. Go
Mr.
find
X,
him and beat him up.
The X. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Mr. X not original. I'll own up to that. That's a bit gimpy. They could have thought of a cool name, I guess. But
Like General Atboob.
yeah, you could have been. You could have fought the almighty Akboob. So yeah, you fight the jungle. There's nothing really. There's nothing new. I think from this point on now, you don't get a lot of new, which is like a bit of a negative on the game. Yeah. So like, as we'll get to with the boss of the level, you do fight the kickboxer guys. You fight them on the ship. I think you fight one or two of them on the ship.
Yes, you do. The Muay Thai guys.
You fight, I think, 2 on the ship, and then you fight 3 on this beach. At the end of the beach, you fight 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they're annoying because they've got horrible combos.
Yeah, and they've got massive legs as well.
Yeah, they're weapons. And then you get to the outskirts of the jungle, walk down, then you got bikes again. They've recycled the bikes. And then they recycle 2 bosses.
Which one's that? It's Jet and the claw guy again, isn't it?
Yeah. So instead of what was it called, Zamza? Instead of Zamza and Jet, you get Sother and Stealth.
Sother. Yeah. Because we were making jokes about getting chicken off him.
Yeah, Sother fried chicken.
Yeah.
Unless it's Saltha, I don't know. But to me,
we say Sother.
It's Sother. Yeah. It doesn't bother me much. It is like a bit,
It's the only level that does recycle bad guys, though, doesn't it?
No.
Is it not? I thought the next one has the 2 robots.
Yeah. And then you have like a boss rush in the final level. On another lift. We'll get there.
So this one's the only one that reuses.
It's the only final boss. It's the only final boss that's been recycled.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
which I wonder where that is, because I mean, you could have made one more guy.
Yeah, they could have made one more little boss or something. They could have used these 2 as like the sub boss of the level, and then you beat them 2, and then you get.
Then you get another boss. Having 2 already defeated bosses as a boss of another level. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I wouldn't say cheap, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, but you don't fight 1, you fight 2 of them, and it's like.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then level 7 is really cool. I like level 7. To me,
I know it's the robots.
It's the factory. Yeah, to me, it was the factory level, but it's called the munitions plant. And it's the only level that where the floor moves and stuff like that. It's the first one where
you've got the
floor
conveyor
slides, conveyor belts and stuff like that. But there's nothing. Again, there's nothing. There's no threats for you in the environment. It's just there's conveyor belts that move you this way. It makes it harder to move.
Yeah.
The fact that you can't dash will piss you off even more because you're walking against conveyor belts and you're walking.
I can't imagine Max being able to actually, you know what I mean? Blaze and Axel could walk probably at the same speed as the conveyor belts.
Skate and dash.
They're just slower. Whereas Max, I don't even think Max could even walk. He just look at it and be like, "Fuck this." I'm going home.
Turns around. Mr. X could deal with himself. It's fine. Adam's fine. He doesn't need my help.
Fuck Adam.
I think he's supposed to be Max's brother, isn't he?
No idea. I know he's Blaze's dad.
Skate's dad.
Blaze's dad, yeah.
And I'm sure Max is like his brother or something. That's why he's joined him to help.
His Hispanic cousin.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get through the factory basically, and then you have another lift, but it's like an open lift, and it takes a while to, and then it stops. More people join. More people join.
Yeah.
They recycle we didn't talk about the knife guy in the first level.
Oh, God, the knife guy,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah. Jack comes out of the garage, and
Yes.
then because he's
Yeah.
recycled a billion times in this game as well. He's
I
annoying.
love I love the fact that I kept getting the knife and kept trying to throw the knife at him, but kept getting you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah,
That wasn't like intentional, but I just kept getting you.
you get him, or he pops up on the lift. I want to say
Are the robots before the lift or on the
robots are
lift?
right at the end. So
Oh,
when you reach your destination at the top,
yeah. Oh
you
God, yeah, because we would when we were getting hitting the floors, we were doing the floors. First floor, women's lingerie.
wait, wait. We're lame, man. We're so lame.
I know.
Um,
We laugh last. I think we laugh at our own shit
the,
last.
the best thing someone has to. The best thing about the robots is whenever they hit you, it's that glong sound. It's the most fun, it's the most satisfying thing in the world.
It
It,
is.
it's so cheesy.
They are really good bosses, by the way. Is it Molecule, and something?
Yeah, particle.
I can't remember. Yeah, and then
Particle and
later on you get
molecule.
another. Yeah, and later on you get another one called Oxygen.
Yes, that's it.
Oxygen.
But at
But they
least,
are really good though. They look really good. And
yeah,
they've got
they're
like
all right. Yeah,
you've got the one with the flail on his arm.
yeah, yeah. Dong.
What's the other one have? I can't remember what the other one have that makes him different because they both don't have the flail.
I don't remember.
I'm sure there's a difference between the two of them.
I don't remember.
But yeah, I thought they were quite smart. They look cool.
Yeah, at least for some reason they decided level 7 will bring in a different boss after level 6, but at
Yeah.
least they did. They came up with something, didn't they?
Yeah.
Robots is a bit out there for the
Yeah.
game, I guess, but
Yeah.
there's also the floating head in the
I always
haunted house.
remember
So.
when this was coming out and it was in the Games Master magazine, and I remember looking at the pictures and that, and I remember looking. It's just two specific pictures that just seared into my mind, and it's the robots, and it's the guy we'll get up to it in a bit. But I always remember seeing like you can see them like it was like doing a jump kick to the robots, and I was like, oh my god, you get to fight robots! That's so fucking cool. Sure, it's such a good idea.
With your
And it's
bare
like,
knuckles.
and like everybody's Psycho and Beat 'em Up has some form of robots or something. Do you know what I mean? But I just always remember in the magazine Streets of Rage 2 like preview, and I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking robots. Yeah.
Then you beat the robots, particle and molecule,
Like particle and molecule.
and then you get the final level 8.
And that's like the skyscraper where it's all
Yes.
like sort of like Japanese themed,
Yeah, it's
like a dojo thing.
the Syndicate Stronghold,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's basically just like a bit of a trek. I say a bit of a trek. It's only like 5 steps, and then you get to the end of the room, and you've got to fight what's his name, Brother Bear, Rocky Bear's brother.
Yeah.
See if I can get his name. Bear Junior. He's
Yeah,
called Bear
got it.
Junior.
There you go.
So you've killed his dad, and he's come back to exact revenge.
That's
his son is here. So you have to fight another one of him before you get on lift number 5,000 of the game. And then it becomes like a bit of a boss rush where you get, I think Bourbon comes back again. You get another Zamza again.
Yeah.
You get Ultimate Warrior Abadid, is he called?
Oh yeah, yes you do.
Like
Second one,
something I did learn when I was looking for Fat Facts earlier, which I might have realised just that never really twigged. But with bosses, they have like a second or two of invincibility when they've been knocked down. They get up, which is especially noticeable with not Ultimate Warrior, because when you knock him down, you want him the second he gets up to you want to flail on him again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't let you. You'll swipe, and he'll just knock you away. But whereas with
Backhand you.
with the recycled ones, they don't have that invincibility anymore. So you can knock this guy down.
They're just classed as normal guy.
Yeah, so you can knock him down. He gets up, and you can instantly knock him again.
down again. Yeah.
So these are much easier because of that mechanic. But
I mean, they still have a lot of bloody lives to get.
they're still tough. They still got the same movesets and everything. You might fight another jet. I don't know. It wouldn't make much sense.
I
in
don't
that
think he
lift.
did. I don't think he did in the left. I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah, it might end at him then. It might be the three of them: Warburn, Zamza, and then Abedid, whatever he's called in the
There's
lift.
also there's a lot of the kung fu guys with the big fist.
Kusanu.
The
Yeah,
palm.
I like them guys.
There's
They're
loads of
cool.
them.
He's the one you fight in the lorry in the second level, not the
Yes.
ninja.
Yeah.
The ninjas are different. He's
See,
more
when there's
like
like 2 or 3 of them though that are a pain in the arse.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
on the
they're
little
strong,
guys,
yeah.
and they're just fisting you.
and then you ascend the lift, and then you see Mr. Big at the top
Yes,
in
in
his
his little
chair,
seat.
looking chilled as tits, with his cigar in his mouth. If you've got the Japanese version of the game, facts. And then you get like a bit of a wave of enemies.
Yeah.
And then you take all them out, and then he sends his crony on you,
Yes.
Shiva.
Yeah.
Who is-
Yes, and this was the other guy
He's
in
cool,
the pic,
man.
in the And I remember he was doing some sort of flip in the picture.
Yeah.
And he looked cool as anything. And you just knew that he was going to attack Axel, whoever it was.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the caption on it, but it was saying like, he's actually harder than Mr. X.
He's the true main boss.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I was sitting there, it's like, how can the second in command be harder than the main boss? Like, oh my god, this is going on. But those two pictures always stuck in my head.
And
Always stuck in my head.
the biggest crime that Streets of Rage 2 committed was they didn't let you play as Shiva.
If they did, that would have been awesome.
He should have
does
been
that-
an
he does that
unlockable
kick,
fifth
doesn't he?
character.
Like, he does that kick where like he's sort of like it's like a side kick, but it's like up in the air and like skids across the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
But-
really good.
That's where I want to say he is playable in 3. Maybe like the Japanese version or something. I think you can play as him somehow in 3. Because he shows up in it again. He's the boss of the first level in 3.
Okay.
You might get to play as him. But Streets of Rage 4 you definitely do. And he's the best character in Streets of Rage 4. Because you get the street... It's either 2 or 3. You get Streets of Rage 2 or 3 version of Shiva in the game. And you also get the modern day Streets of Rage 4 version. And like when... Because I like to just jump on Streets of Rage 4 every now and then just to do the boss... Not the boss rush. The like survival mode. The end...
Yeah, like the
endless
horde
thing.
mode
The
sort of
horde
thing,
mode
yeah.
thing on it. And I'll always pick Shiva because Shiva's so much fun. You can just get so many combos and stuff.
It's a shame that you couldn't play him actually.
I know. We need to play Streets of Rage 4 as well. It's so much fun.
Add it to the list.
And then if you eventually defeat Shiva, who is difficult, not the hardest,
Yes.
but he's tougher
but he
than
is
the final
difficult.
boss.
Yes.
You then get Mr. X gets up off his fat ass eventually and whips out a Tommy gun.
Well, there's Tommy gun.
Yeah. And then just it's I love that they sort of incorporated he shoots down and like he arcs the gun and
Yeah,
stuff.
you shoot.
So he almost
arcs
makes
it.
nowhere
Yeah.
safe at times.
But if you are actually to the side of him when he does the shooting, you've got free reign on him because he doesn't shoot to that side; he shoots that
So
way.
you've got to be a bit
And same on the
tactical
other
with
side.
your
You-
position
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah. So there is an easy way to defeat him.
Yeah, but like
But if you're in that spray of bullets, you are knackered.
yeah, and he's just a typical, he's not really the final boss because he's still sending all these cronies on you, and you've just got to get a few hits on him, take everyone else out, get a few hits on him.
The worst thing I think with him is when he gun butts you.
Yeah, that takes a lot of health off you as well.
I did that, yeah. And it's the sound as well that deep. And you just see it go,
Yeah.
you're like, dickhead. He's got no other real attacks, has he, apart from the gun butt?
He
and
shoots the gun
shooting.
and he butts you. So, like, he's not the best final boss. Like, Shiva's a better final boss, but even then, if he was the final boss, I'd be a bit... But they sort of improved on it with 3 a little bit. They sort of give you, like, a proper final boss in Streets of Rage 3, but it's not as good a game. Streets of Rage 2 is still... Overall package is the best one, in my opinion. But that's... I mean, we just spent 54 minutes almost talking about just each level. I'm not even got to my fat fact yet.
I mean, they're good, though. They're all good and they're all fun. You know what I mean? The one thing that they're missing are basically, like, hazards in the level.
Yeah, environmental hazards. Which...
Yeah.
There's... I think there's some in certain levels where you've got like maybe like you got the guys that throw grenades and stuff. That's kind of an
And you've got
environmental
the guys
thing.
that come out the sewer, and then you've got the hole in the floor.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're very few and far between.
There's much more in 3. They incorporated more of that sort of stuff in 3. In all fairness,
I mean, we've also got to remember that this was released in '92 or 91, '92. So I mean, it's not like compared to Turtles, was 94 or something? I can't remember what when Turtles in Time came out. But I mean, that is also the 4th game in the the 4th game of the Turtles game.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've had other games. This is literally the 2nd game.
Yeah, and
it's
the thing is as well. I don't like the first one. I don't think Streets of Rage 1 is that good. It's clunky. It's dull. It's dull to look at. When you compare the character sprites of Streets of Rage 1 with 2, it's like you'd think they were like an actual generation apart. The graphics.
It's 2 different games.
It's mind blowing because basically 3 basically looks like 2. That's how good 2 got it. Is that 3?
Yeah, they couldn't get any more out of it.
They just changed the color palettes on some of the characters in 3. That's all it is. But I'll go through the fat facts while we're still here because hold on. Fat facts. Oh, press it too much. Fat facts.
I think you just do that for me now.
I know. I need to actually do some sort of like video.
Make a video.
I'll have to make a video
that does it.
I'll have to do something because I can leave a gap of 10 seconds before the second click and it still messes up the thing. But yeah, fat facts. I've lost it now. I've still got all my factor from all the other games we've done. Right. All of the visuals and the combat was inspired by
the Big Trouble in Little China.
Street Fighter 2.
Really?
Apparently. The team owned an arcade cabinet in the office, so they were playing Street Fighter 2 while they were making Streets of Rage 2. So they probably just, you naturally would at the time. Just see see the animations or something and see certain moves that they do, and we can do our own version of that.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was inspired by
Big Trouble in Little China. I'm just gonna say for everything.
The Prodigy.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
No way.
I did have more on the. Here we go. The game's composer. Why did I done it twice? The game's composer Yuzo Koshiro was asked about what music influenced the game. He responded, "I started writing the music last spring, which was right around the time The Orb was coming to Japan. Never heard of The Orb. And everyone, myself included, was super excited about that. I was listening to Prodigy and Eon 2, stuff with weird lyrics." I don't think that there's not big Prodigy vibes in the soundtrack.
You got that.
But
No.
I think when you just think of something like, if you think of Firestarter, and it's got that funny sound, doesn't it? It's got that Firestarter. I don't even know how to describe the sound in Firestarter, but you've got that funny sound, and I think he's probably just So he was trying to get his own versions of that sort of sound.
That's fair.
Maybe.
Yeah. Actually, you mean when it's the.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of stuff that he was.
That's probably the closest you're gonna get between the two, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he might have liked some of the more obscure Prodigy songs that maybe do sound a bit similar to what Streets of Rage 2 sounded like. According to Ayano Koshiro, Adam did not return for the sequel because he didn't have a special playstyle compared to Axel and Blaze. In other words, he's lame, and they didn't want to bring him back.
Yeah, pretty much.
But did they improve with Max and Skate?
Well, definitely Skate.
Skate's an improvement. He's different, isn't he? It's not like
I suppose with that, you've got Axel and you've got Adam. They're more or less the same. The same build.
They were
guys.
the same guys. You had one white guy and you had one black guy, and it's. I think that was just like it's like a tick box thing, wasn't it? You can be the white guy, you can be the black guy.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose getting rid of him to having his kid actually probably does. Yeah, makes the roster.
Yeah, but they did bring him. They bring him back for 4, and he's pretty overpowered in 4. He's a bit of a weapon in 4, to be fair to him. He's just not very fun. Kind of like Carl Weathers, yeah. They try and like modernize Carl Weathers a bit. Which one's this one now? Yeah, that's not good. I've read that one. In the European version, the main title has the same Streets of Rage title image used in the US version, but uses the Roman numeral 2, similar to the Japanese title. The American release simply uses the number 2. See, I didn't know that. I always thought it was Roman numeral. Regardless, I thought that's what Streets of Rage 2 was.
That's because Americans can't read Roman numerals.
Streets of Rage I? What does that mean?
Yeah. Capital I, capital I.
What a stupid name for a game. But yeah, I never noticed that title screen when you're in the game. It's a number 2 for the Yanks.
Wow, yeah, I never noticed it there.
You know, we like it. I like Roman numerals and stuff. If it was up to me, every sequel would be Roman numerals. It just looks smart.
Yeah, it does.
I'm at 5% battery.
Just having like numbers is lazy.
Mentioned this earlier. In the Japanese version, Mr. X is seen smoking a cigar in the last level. This was censored in international releases because smoking's bad, kids. Even though he's the bad guy, and of course he's going to smoke, isn't he? He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's going to get lung cancer. Fine.
Ooh. Wow, you kill him off anyway, so.
Exactly,
or do you? He may return in Streets of Rage 3. Bare Knuckle 3. In the Japanese version of the game, Bare Knuckle 2, Eddie Skate Hunter is named Sammy. I knew that. I don't know why, though. I don't know why they call him Sammy. But
Eddie Skate Hunter?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah. I don't think there's anywhere in Streets of Rage 2 where it actually calls him Eddie Hunter.
Unless it's in the instruction booklet, which obviously...
It'll probably be in the instruction booklet. But like in the game, it doesn't say Eddie Hunter anywhere.
No mention of that, yeah.
It's just Skate. It's like... It's just keeping it super simple, isn't it? It's just... He skates around. He's called Skate.
He's Max, she's Blaze, he's Axel, he's Eddie Skate. No.
I like this one. These I save the best 2 facts for last.
Go on then.
I'll send it to you first, so you can know what I'm talking about, and I'll also put it on the screen. But this, I believe, this is the American box art for the game. No, Japanese. Obviously, when you see the picture. So, in the key art and cover for the Japanese version, the facial features of the characters appear to have been based on Hollywood stars.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
For Axel.
Yeah.
The only other... Don't worry about Blaze and Max and Skate. There's no mention of them in this fact. Just Mr. X in the background.
Mr. X.
I saw it immediately. And then when I read this fact, I was like, yes!
I don't know that.
Imagine there's a bit more of a gap in between these 2 teeth. Just a bit.
I'm going to say Beat Takeshi, but that's not him, is it?
Oh.
Who is it?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It's not Arnold.
That's Arnie, man!
Is it? Oh, God, now you say it, yes!
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
It's Arnie!
It is Arnie. Oh,
most notably, Axel bears striking resemblance to Belgian actor and martial artist Jean-Claude Van Damme, while Mr. X resembles Austrian-American actor and former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's cool. Awesome. That's cool. But like you can see,
he doesn't tend to pull that face all that often. To be honest,
no, he's very smiley. It's a funny looking face. But like when I looked at that,
I'm sure he has at some point done that.
Oh, he'll have done something similar
in Running Man or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I looked at that. When I looked at that the other day, I was like, looks an awful lot like Arnie there. It's a bit weird that. And then I read the fact today. It's supposed to look like him.
It's so good.
Right, and this I didn't know this.
Okay. Well, if you didn't, I don't.
This is really cool.
Okay.
I was reading, I think it was some guy posted. I still need to confirm if this is actually true, because I've only known the Japanese game as Bare Knuckle 2. But apparently, the full title of the game is Bare Knuckle 2, The Requiem of the Deadly Battle. That may be the coolest game name ever.
That can't be right.
Bare Knuckle 2, The Requiem of the Deadly Battle. I was supposed to Google it and like triple check it, so I don't want to be giving false facts. But
Fake news.
Bare Knuckle 2 Requiem. The Requiem of the Deadly Battle.
Ooh, is it?
Bare Knuckle 2 Shito e no Requiem. That is awesome. I need to see it in writing though. On like,
You see an image.
yeah, I need to see like box art.
Yeah.
But it looks like it may be true, and that may be the coolest game name on the planet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually.
Bare Knuckle. I like Streets of Rage. I wish we got Bare Knuckle. That just sounds cooler.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, bare knuckle fighting was a thing over here, wasn't it, a long time ago?
Yeah.
So I don't know if someone Alexa,
Oh.
stop. But I mean, I don't think it's like when the Sega of Europe are like, oh, we can't really call it that because that's just enforcing people to go out and beat the shit out of each other. Not that Streets of Rage is any different.
Streets of Rage. I like Streets of Rage,
Yes.
but I think Bare Knuckle's a cooler title.
Bare knuckle is a cool
Especially the
name, that is.
Requiem of the Final Battle, or whatever it's called then. Deadly Battle.
Deadly Battle.
Whoa. That's
good.
awesome.
That is good.
So we've done a good hour and 5. Is there anything
I
else
know.
you want to talk about before we bring up the leaderboard?
I mean, the enemies are good. They're varied, but like all of them, they're recycled.
Yeah, and they're recycled quite quickly as well.
But are they actually different colours? I don't think they're just different colours. I just think there's just loads of them.
You get like the regular, like, what's he called, Galcia or whatever, the blue guys with the red hair.
Donovan and all that. They're all the same throughout the whole game.
Yeah, you get the blue ones more often. The green ones are a bit rarer. I think they do have different things. I think the
I
blue.
can't remember because there are some games like beat 'em up games that it's a blatant copy that it's the same sprite but just with different colour. But I don't actually remember Streets of Rage. A feeling that Streets of Rage was or has that.
Yeah, I think it does.
It might do, but it might not be as obvious.
I think it
Apart
does.
from the
But
red stripe, yellow stripe, green stripe.
yeah, when you get the different coloured guys, I think there are minor differences to their fighting style, what they do to you. You get some that are a bit faster, some that'll spam certain moves more. But like,
Aye, but they're not a blatant.
no, and because they come and go so quickly, you don't notice it really. You see a guy, you beat
watching
him
the
up.
videos, I never noticed that we were that it was Donovan, but in green with a different name. It was still Donovan.
Yeah.
Like on level 6, the same as level 1.
Yeah, the thing is, by level 2, you've already forgotten about the fact that they've got names and stuff, so you don't take notice of the names.
Yeah.
The fact that you're just beating up the same bloke every 2 seconds, never. It's a 1992 video game, isn't it? You're gonna get copy and pasting and all that. It doesn't take away from the fact. Yeah, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's such a fun fighting game. Beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's still really good.
And that's the thing. The only other thing I want to really mention is the soundtrack is probably my favourite video game soundtrack.
Yeah.
Either that or Doom. I still love the Doom soundtracks, but I don't know. The modern day Doom soundtracks are more like a metal band of this day and age just releasing like a kick-ass album or something. Whereas Streets of Rage 2 is a video game soundtrack. It's what do you call it? Like chiptune sort of 16-bit. it's only that and like Sonic and Knuckles that I'll go back to as like the best soundtracks of that era for me that I grew up with. I just can't think of any. I know a lot of people go to, again, this is a discussion for another day, the best soundtracks and that. But I think a lot of people you get a lot of people that'll say to me, that's not the best soundtrack, Halo's got the best soundtrack. Well, no, Halo's got a good main theme. Name me another level that's got a good song in Halo. There isn't. It's all sort of just samey, operatic.
Yeah.
It's all, I still like the Halo soundtracks. They're fine.
Oh, the Halo theme and the last Halo and the ending where you
the escape,
and the crescendo and all that.
Yeah, it works perfectly.
They're amazing for that game, but it's for that level. But as an actual, I wouldn't buy a Halo soundtrack CD because
I did.
You only want to play that one song.
I only listened to Combat Evolved though. I think Combat Evolved's just got the more memorable ones for me. But you're talking 3 songs maybe of an album of 20 to 30 songs.
Yeah.
Whereas every single song in Streets of Rage, every level it comes up, I'll go, oh, that's the stadium. Oh, that's the ship. That's the boss level, the best boss music in the world. It is the definitive video game soundtrack, in my opinion.
That's good. It is good.
I think even talking about it now, we need to do some sort of soundtracky video next week.
Do one.
We'll figure something out.
Figure something out. That's fine.
I'll have a look back at that pandemic thing that we did, and we'll see if there's anything a little bit more specific
There's loads you can choose from.
Unless you want to start with just what's the best video game soundtrack, and then we sort of delve into a bit more boss music.
Maybe
in future.
Maybe. Yeah,
we'll look into it.
Could do that. I want to add one little thing. Is some of the sound effects.
Yeah.
And it's just because of the Mega Drive.
Whoa.
They were a bit naff. They were a bit naff sounded.
I require specifics.
Like some of the punches, some of your deep ones sound like proper, like they're doing damage, but like
they're more like slap sounds, aren't they?
It's like a cymbal. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I think that's more Mega Drive than the game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think with me, because it's just embedded in my head that it's like that's the Streets of Rage 2 jab sound. So it's like. Yeah. I know what you mean, but like I can't have a grievance with it because that's the Streets of Rage 2
I know. I'm just comparing music and sounds. For the most part, the music is amazing and most of the sounds are good, but there's just a few that you just hear it and you're just like, that sounds slightly out of place.
I'd say the most irritating sounds are the women dying. It's like a screechy sort of...
Yeah, screech, yeah. I was thinking more like when the bikes explode as well, when you knock them off the bike.
Yeah.
Or when they throw the grenades. It's not like a... It's like a 20 jabs going off at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's yeah.
It's not the best. It's not the best when it comes to the actual sound design sort of bit, but it could be the limitations of the Mega Drive.
It's the limitations of the Mega Drive. Because the music's bloody good.
Yeah.
But some of your sound effects aren't. Yeah, it's just that's the Mega Drive and the chipset that is anything.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's time.
Bring it up.
Slags up.
Hey.
Give me a score, and it's going to break my heart. I know it is.
800,000.
How much?
800.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
I like Streets of Rage 2. I generally like it. I love playing on it and jumping on it. It's such a fun little game. Yeah.
I'm keeping it simple. 900,000, 9 out of 10. I mean, I'd love to give it 10, but it's limited. You got 8 levels. You got 4 characters. Only one is really worth it. I don't know. I didn't want to look at the leaderboard before I gave my score in case I was like. Yeah, 500 million. Just. But
I mean, between the two, it's 8,500.
I think you would have. I wouldn't be surprised if they're really close together. Like you gave a 9 and I gave an 8 last time or something.
Probably.
It wouldn't surprise me. But 850,000 final score, and that does put it. I will quickly check. 850,000 puts it 7th, just below Super Metroid, above Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excuse me, by 25,000.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah.
But it is.
They were always going to be.
These are the
rivals.
two. These are the two
Mhm.
that epitomise the beat 'em up genre.
Yeah.
I know there's Final Fight, but I've not really played Final Fight, so I can't comment on that.
I mean, we can go through it, but if I'm being honest,
I'm quite tempted
I've not played much of Final Fight myself.
Something I've never done, but I'll probably do it tonight just out of curiosity. I'm gonna do like the best beat 'em up games of all time, get like a top 10, see what the general consensus is, and if Final Fight's up there, I'll play it, and I'll give my sort of.
Well, it would be, to be honest, because I mean, there's
A lot of people love it.
There's 3 games, at least 3 games.
Mm.
And then they did the 3D one, and then from that point on, it went fucking shite. But I mean,
most of them did though. Really, when they try and evolve, I'm actually really glad that they sort of let Streets of Rage sleep for so long after 3. I'm glad they didn't like force out a 4th, turn it 3D and make it shit. Yeah, I'm really glad they did let it sleep. And then when we got 4, it was such a faithful reimagining of Streets of Rage, and it's so good. It's got, even though the first is a bit bum, 2, 3, and 4 are solid games. It may be worth talking about 3 down the line because it is a different game.
Maybe we could play it. Yeah.
It is a fun game. It's just not as good as 2.
There is one on the Switch online on the SNES one. I think it's like Street Turf or something like that.
Okay.
And I played. So my next door neighbor had an American SNES, and I had an adapter for playing American games, and I would always play this game, and I never finished it, but I always remember playing it, and then when N64 and that came out, totally forgot about the game. Just it was just always in my head. Oh, that beat him up that movie. My next door, I think his name was Martin or something. That he used to have. I wonder what that game's called, because I never ever remember the name. And on the Nintendo Switch Online, it's there. And the box art looks nothing like what I would have imagined what the front of the cover looked like, and there's no similarities. That image doesn't come in my brain at all. But it's on there now, and that's one that I want us to play because I need to complete it.
Okay,
I've played it so many times and never done it, and that's something that I do want to do.
We'll arrange a date.
Yeah.
We'll have a beat 'em up night or something.
Yes. Yeah, and we will do it because I have to finish this game.
Okay.
I need to do it.
There's actually, before I lose battery and die, on your Game Bloke, in one of the obscure sort of categories, there is I think it's a fan-made Streets of Rage 2.5.
I've seen something.
I had a little bash. It seems all right. It seems like a whole brand new Streets of Rage in the style of Streets of Rage 2 and 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a little nosy at that, even though it's like an unofficial game. Doesn't make it on the slide. But
still, if it's a good game, it's a good game.
Yeah. But there we go. Streets of Rage. Where did I say it made it? 7th on the slag, so it does make the board. Oh. Just under Super Metroid, which I can live with because I do love Super Metroid. It's knocked. So it's just gone above Turtles in Time. It's one place above that, just above No Mercy, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam.
What's it knocked off with him? NBA Jam?
Yeah. Oh, off the actual thing.
Off the actual board.
It'll be.
Sorry, my wife is drunk dancing over there.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And NBA Jam, it's those 3 NBA Jam.
That was those 3 based on. Okay.
Yeah, so we're getting. Fine. I'm quite glad we're getting through them because I hate that we've kept them the same score. But anyway, have to dash because my battery's dying.
That's fine. I have to sort my drunken wife out.
Enjoy, bro. Thanks, guys. Get following, get subscribing. Bye, drunk wife.
Bye. See you later.